What's going on, my peoples? We are back. What is this, episode 8? Episode 8 already of Not Your Average Wrestling Podcast, hosted by your boy, the Wildcat, J. Troy. And what a week we had in WWE. Because, according to Vince, we shook things up once again. And was it really a shakeup? You know, I question a lot of things that WWE did this week, how they handled the shakeup, how did they handle talents that left, talents that's up in the air. We don't know about Sasha Banks. We know about Luke Harper and Alexander Wolfe. They're out of the company. But what did they do during this week, during Raw and Smackdown, NXT or 205 Live? Is everything really shooken up? But we shall see. Let's get through everything. Let's talk about all of that. And we're going to come to the conclusion. Was this company really shaking up? And how well did WWE do it? So before we get to Raw and Smackdown, let's get to these headlines, though, that we have gotten over the past few days. Alexander Wolfe from Sanity. Remember Sanity, right? Remember Sanity was a big deal in NXT. People couldn't wait for Sanity to get to the main roster. And what did WWE do with Sanity? They messed them up. You know, when you think about it, are you really surprised? You know, Sanity had a different gimmick, something that could have been something special. They had talented wrestlers in it. Yeah, Nikki Cross, Alexander Wolfe, Killian Dane, and the person that was leading it, Eric Young. They was good at NXT Tag Team Champions. Nikki Cross is doing her thing. She's in obscurity right now. I still don't even know what brand is she on. But this week, before, we get to the Raw and Smackdown thing, a little spoiler alert, Sanity has gotten disbanded. Sanity is no more. Alexander Wolfe, who was one of the big parts of Sanity, left the company. He's done. He asked for his release. He is done, and I don't blame the man. Because in reality, what are they going to do with Alexander Wolfe after Sanity was done? They wasn't going to push him. A talented person like Alexander Wolfe, and he was underrated in my opinion. I feel like everybody who was a part of Sanity was good wrestlers. But people like Alexander Wolfe need a tag team in WWE. I'm not saying in the wrestling business, but people like Alexander Wolfe need a tag team in order for WWE to use them, right? Doesn't take away from his wrestling ability, but we all know how Vince thinks. If he thinks you're a tag team guy, he's going to keep you with a tag team. And if you get disbanded, well, we ain't going to see you. You're going to be in obscurity. So Alexander Wolfe, in my opinion, did the right decision. He left the business and he'll probably show up in Impact or AEW. I don't think he's going to show up in ROH. I think either Impact or AEW is going to scoop up Alexander Wolfe when his 90 days no compete clause is up. We go on to another one, and this one really hurt me. Luke Harper. Luke Harper, who's a big focal point of the Wyatt family back in the day. You remember when the Wyatt family first came around and it was a big deal, and Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Bray Wyatt was just tearing stuff up, man. Luke Harper, when he had his singles run for a little while, when he was a heel, and I feel like he was doing good. He really could have been a really decent mid-card to upper mid-card heel for the business. He captured the IC championship. I mean, they didn't give him a real run with that. That was when him and Dolph Ziggler were shooting for the championship. But they did not do nothing with Luke Harper. He got the championship, and he quickly lost it back to Dolph Ziggler. They didn't really give Luke Harper a chance, in my opinion. Because even when you fast forward and when Randy was in the Wyatt family with Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt, and Luke Harper he had that babyface push, they really should have started doing something with him because Luke Harper was over like hotcakes. He was over. People was getting behind Luke Harper. And what did WWE do? After the rivalry was over, they just pushed him away. And we didn't see him until they did the Bludgeon Brothers thing. Now, before I get to the Bludgeon Brothers, Luke Harper, I feel like would have been a great babyface. He's a man that, honestly, I feel like that can play both sides. I was curious to see how he was going to be pushed as a babyface. I would have been behind Luke Harper. He can fly. He can move fast in the ring. The moves that he can do is crazy. Luke Harper's a very entertaining dude, and he's very believable. He's one of those guys that I wouldn't want to catch in a dark alley, and that's a very lost art in today's world. Because not a lot of these wrestlers today, you don't want to, you can catch in a dark alley and will not be scared of. Luke Harper is one of those guys that if you caught him in the dark alley, I don't know if he was going to make it out of that joint alive. Because that's the presence that he gave off. This man, he had the looks, he had the in-ring qualities. He could have been a decent mid-card to upper mid-card guy. And like I said before, there's nothing wrong with being a mid-card to upper mid-card talent if you're booked right. Jake the Snake. Let's go back to Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake back in the day. I don't believe he won a championship in the business, but he was in the right storylines. He played this character well. He was booked good. He was in classic rivalries and matches. He didn't win not one championship in WWE, and that man is a Hall of Famer. You don't have to be a main event guy. You don't have to be a top guy like a Hulk Hogan, a Stone Cold, a Rock, a Roman Reigns, a John Cena in order for you to have a successful career in the WWE. All you have to do is be booked right and be booked in good feuds. And I feel like WWE, you missed out with Luke Harper. Luke Harper's going to be fine. I know he's going to be tearing stuff up on the indies. I know he can't wait to wrestle on the indies. And I feel like he's going to go to AEW. AEW needs a guy like Luke Harper. I feel like that would be fantastic. That would be a new change of environment for him. And somebody like Cody Rhodes will use him well. So, big man, I will see you in the future. I know you're going to be a success. And Luke Harper, you have all my support in the world, man. Just kill it. And I'll be here supporting you. Sasha Banks and Bayley, right? So Sasha Banks and Bayley has been one of the main things coming out of WrestleMania weekend, right? So it's apparently, the reports is going around saying that Sasha Banks was very upset with losing the championships, the tag team championships with Bayley. Now, she was upset about that, and also she heard that her tag team with Bayley was getting disbanded. She was upset with that, right? As far as the tag team championships goes, I feel like I can see why Sasha Banks is upset. I'm not gonna call her names. I'm not gonna call her a whiner, complainer, the B word like a lot of people do. Yes, my feelings with Sasha Banks has been up and down over the years, but you can't take away that girl is a fantastic wrestler. One of the best wrestlers out today, men or women. That girl give it her all. She does. You can't take that away from her. Yeah, her attitude might be a little messed up, but just think about this. All the people that complain about Sasha Banks, right? Just think about this. Sasha Banks and Bayley, two people who's very passionate about the business. People that didn't come here to use the WWE as a stepping stone, to be on reality shows, be in movies. No, this is what they wanted to do. This is what they wanted to wrestle. They wanted to wrestle, all right? They fought so hard for these tag team championships for a year plus. They finally get these tag team championships and they lose them in less than 2 months to the Ikonics. So just think about this now. All the people that call Sasha Banks whiner, complainer, or whatever, just think about fighting for something for a year and a half, maybe going on 2 years. For that long, you finally get it. You finally get what you fought so hard for, and you lose it. Now, the big beef wasn't her losing the belts. The beef was her losing the belt in a short span of time. Now, if she lost the belts later down the road, maybe later this year, then it would have been fine. Sasha probably wouldn't have had an issue with this. But the simple fact that they fought so hard for this and they lost it in less than 2 months, yeah, I would be beefing too like Sasha. I would be so angry. Because when you think about it, Sasha Banks hasn't had an opportunity to shine on the main roster. When she was in NXT, her and Bayley, when they was both at NXT, they was killing it. Both of them had classic matches. They tore it up. And they definitely deserved something special when they came to the main roster. But of course, Vince didn't do that. Vince gave Sasha Banks, especially Sasha Banks, title reigns that lasted under a month. I do believe her longest title reign on the main roster was maybe like 27, 29 days. But it has became a thing in WWE when Sasha Banks wins a main roster title singlesly. She didn't defend it. Well, she didn't defend it successfully. She would always lose it the next time she would have a title match. She never really had the opportunity when she got to the main roster. So Sasha felt like, okay, since you won't give me and Bayley the opportunity to shine with the singles title, you want to push Charlotte, you want to push Ronda, you want to push Becky 2 belts. Okay, let's do these tag team championship thing. Let's do this tag team champions thing. They fought hard for the tag team titles. They finally get it, and then they lose it. Just think about that. All the people that complain, call Sasha, all that stuff, just think about that. Imagine fighting for something and you lose it just that quick. And what are they doing with the tag team titles now? The Ikonics is already looking like a joke. I get to that when I talk about Raw. But right now, already, they're looking like jokes. So I don't blame Sasha. And she walked out. The company told her to take a few days off to think about what happened. And just clear your head, and hopefully you come back for Money in the Bank, because that's when she's supposed to come back for Money in the Bank. And, just think about what you want to do before you make a rational decision. Right? So Sasha's on vacation with Kalisto and everything, so she's living it up right now. But I heard that she unfollowed WWE and followed AEW. I don't know how truthful that is. I didn't check for myself, but that is what's going around. But I don't think Sasha's going to leave. I think she's going to come back. I feel like the company is probably, I don't want to say give her what she wants, but I feel like the company's not going to let her go. They're not going to let her slip, because AEW, when you think about it, they need more star-studded people. They need more people that's going to draw eyes to the content. And if they pull somebody like a Sasha Banks or Bayley who's unhappy with the company, that is huge for their women's division. If you starting up a women's division from scratch, somebody like a Bayley or Sasha Banks, the perfect 2 people to start it up, or get a person like Emma to come in, that would be awesome. Great way to start off your women's division. WWE, do not let this one slip by. Bayley's getting punished. She's getting punished for sticking up for Sasha. It was rumors going around saying that her and Sasha was at the WrestleMania. They was in a hotel room screaming. They was backstage in the locker room laying on the floor, screaming, being upset. I don't know what exactly is the truth, because there's 3 sides to the story. Their side, WWE side, and the truth. I don't know. I'm getting a whole bunch of mixed things. I heard that they was pissed off with losing to the Ikonics, but Sasha Banks put up a picture with her, Bayley, and the Ikonics smiling with the Ikonics with the championship. I don't know how much of the story to believe, but I do believe Sasha Banks is very upset with how the titles was handled as far as WrestleMania. I don't know, but we get more. I'm going to talk about this story as it develops more. We get more concrete stuff, and yeah. Now let's start with Monday Night Raw. Let's shake things up once again. You know what? Actually, before I get into that, you know what? No, I'm gonna wait to the end. I'm gonna wait to the end for that, to say what I want to say. So Monday Night Raw opens up with Stephanie McMahon. She calls out Shane, so they're going back and they're going back and forth. It's typical Shane and Stephanie. They're talking to the crowd and everything. Shane, of course, is healing it up big time. So Shane is continuing his best in the world. Shane McMahon. Yo, sidebar. Imagine one time. I know this is a bit of a stretch, but just imagine they'll do the best in the world thing in here. Look at my eyes. What do you see? Imagine seeing CM Punk just come out. How great would that be? That would be fantastic. But, that's wishful thinking. But anyway, Shane is, of course, healing it up. Still talking about his victory over The Miz at WrestleMania. Talks about beating up The Miz, Miz's dad. And next thing you know, Shane and Stephanie's going to announce who is going to be the first person who's going to be drafted in the shakeup. It is The Miz. But The Miz, of course, did not come through the stage. He came through the crowd, or Michael Cole used to say, the WWE Universe, and attacked Shane and beats him down. Well, Shane got some bows in there and threw Miz over the barricade. When The Miz came up from over the barricade, he was bleeding from the side of his head. That was a pretty badass shot that they got of the Miz, because when Miz got up, I don't know, did Shane run or something? But I know he got his upper hand back on Shane, and Shane retreated, and the Miz, I do believe, picked up a chair, and there's this shot of the Miz holding up the chair with his bloody, the side of his face bloody, and pretty badass shot. I mean, I guess that was a good way to start out the shakeup. But when you think about this, the Miz, right? If you realize every shakeup, the Miz goes back and forth to each brand. Now, I understand why the Miz came over this time, because of his TV show Miz and Mrs. The Miz can't be on Smackdown, be a part of Fox when they move to Fox later this year. He can't be on Fox promoting the show for USA. So I see why that they put Miz back on Raw. But this next shakeup, I think the Miz needs to stay put, and then maybe move to SmackDown later down the line. He just keeps moving back and forth during every shakeup. This is the third shakeup, and Miz has moved back and forth. So, but I see why that they did it. It's a business decision and marketing decision for the USA Network, and they can't have the Miz being on Fox, talking about go to the USA Network and watch my show Miz and Mrs. So I see why. So the Miz is on Monday Night Raw. Then we get a tease for the Shield's final chapter, right? Wait, I thought Fastlane was the last ride. You know, WWE likes... WWE is not... What are they... Do y'all even... I don't think Vince really thinks like that anymore. They just really just go through the motions, like my guy BC Amplified says. They just go through the motions and they just don't think. Fastlane, they advertised this. This was the main event of the show. They advertised Fastlane as the Shield's last ride. This is the last time you'll see the Shield together fighting. Then, okay, this is the last time you see the Shield together. Okay, fine. Then, the next night on Raw, they had the Shield come down. Then that's when they said their goodbye. Okay, you're stretching it out. But okay, I see that they give their last goodbye on Raw. Right? About, was it last week? Dean Ambrose was called to come out to after the show with Rollins and Reigns. So they give Dean gives a speech and they do the shield fish, the shield fist. Okay. Okay, I get it. It's not on TV. But they advertised it. They went on the WWE's YouTube channel. They advertised this. Okay. It wasn't on the show. Okay, fine. Y'all stretching this. Y'all sort of lied to us. Fastlane was supposed to be the last time we saw the Shield together, but okay, Dean is supposed to be out of here, but okay. The Shield's final chapter. Is this really it? Is this really it, WWE? Is the Shield really gonna be done? Are they gonna squeeze something in? This is about to be the Shield's final. After this, you never know. After Sunday, it's probably going to be the next thing on Raw is going to be the Shield's final stand. They had the last ride. This is the final chapter. Monday Night Raw might be the final stand of the Shield. When is this over? Y'all pushing this. Y'all really, really, really pushing it. Okay, it was organic at Fastlane. But how much more y'all gonna keep doing this? I thought we was done. We're ready to move on. Everybody in their head is ready to move on away from the Shield, and y'all just keep pushing it on us. We get it. We're trying to digest this, and y'all just keep throwing more of the Shield in this. This is Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is not gonna be with the company. I don't know how much. I don't know how I'm gonna believe this Dean Ambrose thing, to be honest. I don't know if he's really going to leave the company. I just really feel like he's just taking a break. I don't know. The only time that we're going to believe that Dean Ambrose is really done with WWE is if he shows up in either AEW, ROH, New Japan, or Impact. That is the only time where we're going to really come to the conclusion that Dean Ambrose is gone, because I feel like Dean Ambrose isn't going anywhere. I don't know. They keep doing all this Shield stuff, man. The more and more they do this Shield stuff, the more I believe that Dean Ambrose isn't leaving. They just keep doing this. They keep doing this. Keep doing the Shield stuff. So everybody tune in on Sunday for the Shield's final chapter. Woohoo. I'm about to have fun with this next segment. Hold up. I'm going to take a drink of water for this one. Hold up. Excuse me for about 3 seconds. Ricochet and Alistair Black are officially on Monday Night Raw. Why didn't they separate these two? They should have been separated. This is the perfect opportunity to separate them. I would have left Alistair Black on Raw, put Ricochet on SmackDown. And they keeping them two as a tag team. Why are you having Ricochet and Alistair Black as a tag team? It's a team that shouldn't be together. And the more and more that they're together, the more it takes away from their stock. When we had these thoughts of when Ricochet and Alistair Black came to the main roster, did anybody think in a million years that these two together will be stuck at the hip in a tag team that shouldn't be together, who is, when you think about it on paper, not a good tag team? They're good talents, but they have had every tag team title opportunity handed to them, and they lost every single one. The Raw, they lost. NXT, they lost. SmackDown, they lost. They're not cut out for this tag team thing together on paper. They're not cut out for this. These two should not be together. I don't understand it. I don't understand why these two are stuck at the hip. This was the perfect opportunity to let them separate. I don't know. But anyway, I just had to rant on that. So we have Ricochet, Alistair Black, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins versus the Revival, and I can't wait to talk about this. The Viking Experience. They're no longer War Machine. They're no longer the War Raiders. They are the freaking Viking Experience. The Viking Experience. Rowe and Hanson, and that's not even their names no more. It gets worse. The tag team title, they ain't touching those with that name. But their tag team name, it wasn't even, it didn't even get, I don't know what to say right now. Their tag team name, I don't know if that was worse. That or their name individually was worse. So we had the Viking Experience with not Rowe and Hanson. We have the Viking Experience with Eric and Ivar. What the hell is an Ivar? Could somebody tell me what is an Ivar? That is the worst name you could have ever given them. The Viking Experience with Eric and Ivar. That is, I'm telling you right now, everybody who's a fan of War Machine, the War Raiders, and thought they was going to be a big deal in WWE, I'm telling you right now, Monday Night Raw really indicated that they're dead in the water. They're dead in the water. This is the Ascension 2.0. I'm telling you this right now. Don't be surprised when they're not used right, when they start jobbing out. The Viking Experience with Eric and Ivar. I couldn't get that out of my head. I had nightmares about that. I woke up in the middle of the night, Tuesday morning, about like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and realized that these two are a thing on the main roster as the Viking Experience. No sense in talking about this schmozz match. We've seen these 8-man, 6-man matches every freaking week. These type of matches are redundant and they need to stop. And they use the same people over and over to fight each other. Okay, they threw in the Viking Experience this time to throw you off. These schmozz matches, these multi-man matches, WWE needs to stop. And this shows that they have too many people on their main roster because they try to get everybody on the card. So what's the perfect way to get everybody on the card? You stick them all together. Oh, let's throw them all in an 8-man, 6-man, 20-man match together. There's no sense of talking about this match. Let's just talk about the ending of this match. Eric and Ivar, the Viking Experience, got the win for the team. They pinned Zack Ryder. I'm telling you this right now. They're dead in the water. They're not going to get pushed that much. You heard it here. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I would admit if I'm wrong if they get pushed. But with that name, they look like clowns. Eric and Ivar. What was wrong with Rowan Hansen? What was wrong with the War Raiders? Oh, they don't like war because it's barbaric. But you know what? I do believe Tom Phillips had a slip up this week. Tom Phillips called Ember Moon the War Goddess. So you can't keep the War Raiders name, but you can still call Ember Moon the War Goddess? What is it? What is it? Because if they continuously keep calling Ember Moon the War Goddess, I'm going to be extra pissed off. Because you don't know, the company doesn't know what they want. They got to police the advertisers. Okay, you got to take the war name out. Right? You got to give it something else. I was heard that they were supposed to be called the Berserkers. Anything, that name still sucks, but that would have been better than the Viking Experience. That is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. They're dead in the water. Cedric Alexander, he's been promoted to the main roster. He did not show up, but they advertised Cedric Alexander. So they're making the Mustafa Ali move. I guess Mustafa Ali was the guinea pig for this whole cruiserweight thing to see if he'll get over. And Cedric Alexander is the next person to move up. I would love to see Cedric versus Seth Rollins. Maybe not for the championship, but I would love to see them fight each other in a one-on-one match. That would be some dope stuff. So I can't wait to see Cedric. I like that guy, man. He's a very talented dude. I hope he gets pushed right. I don't think he's going to be catapulted to the main title, but keep him mid-card, upper mid-card, and I'll be fine with that. Cedric will deliver in the ring. Finn Balor comes out. And he is interrupted by... No, is he interrupted? Well, he had a match, right? I don't remember if he was interrupted or anything, but we have our next shake-up person. Andrade comes out with sexy Zelina Vega. And they came out, and which indicates that that Andrade is officially on Monday Night Raw. He's no longer the future of SmackDown. He didn't have a bright future on SmackDown, but him being on Raw, maybe that will be a good move for him. Him and Finn Balor had a match. Very solid match. I mean, I think they win about 10 plus minutes, and this was a solid match. Zelina Vega did her job well before the match, healing it up on a mic, introducing Andrade to the Raw crowd, and she helped Andrade win. She ended up doing a Hurricane Rana to Finn when the referee wasn't looking. Andrade hits Finn with the DDT, and Andrade looks very good in his Raw debut. It's a shame that it had to come at the expense of Finn Balor, but this was a good deal for this is a good move for Andrade, fresh start, and he got a win. Hopefully on Monday Night Raw that they use him well. And yeah. So let's just hope that Andrade gets the push. We have more on Finn Balor later. Elias has Nuclear Heat. He has his typical Elias segments. Nuclear Heat. Rey Mysterio interrupts him. All right, so Elias has this thing now. People has interrupted him before, but they really making it a bit more and more of a big deal of who's gonna interrupt Elias next. And this time it was Rey Mysterio, which means that Rey Mysterio is officially on Monday Night Raw. So he comes up, he beats up Elias in botchy fashion. I mean, there was a bit of a botch there, and he ended up getting the upper hand on Elias. You know, Elias helped Rey out. The professional that Elias is, he's, good thing he didn't drop Rey Mysterio, let Rey Mysterio fall on his ass. But then after Rey Mysterio destroys Elias, Lars Sullivan comes out, right? So this is what I have a problem with. Lars Sullivan, big behemoth dude that debuted last week. You know, he beat up Kurt Angle, he beat up the Hardys. You know, he's looking like a beast, right? Rey Mysterio, he runs into Rey Mysterio, and for a while, for about a minute, Rey Mysterio was putting in that work. He was beating him up. And then Lars Sullivan just caught him, hit him with that freak accident, I think that's what it's called, and he hits him with this new running powerbomb thing, so I don't think that WWE is going to want him do that headbutt as much. I feel like he's going to still do it, but not as much. So that's why he keeps doing this running powerbomb. And I think that Lars Sullivan is looking good so far. He's looking like Snitsky 2.0. Remember how Snitsky was pushed and he ended up like not so good towards the end, but hopefully he gets pushed well and he gets used correctly. He's off to a good start. And yeah, but he was off to a good start now. But him getting beat up by Rey Mysterio that first minute, that shouldn't have happened. You have to make him look good. You have to continuously make him look good. But I'll just say right now that he's looking okay. He's looking good. Just keep him looking dominant. Roode and Gable. Oh, let the fun begin. Let the Roode begin. Oh my God. What am I saying? The Roode and Gable segment. It was a little botchy in the beginning. We had a bit of a spoiler. You ruined the surprise of my fam. Them thuggos, Jimmy Thug, UJ Thug, Utah, day one. It's me, baby. So they call Roode and Gable the family, Jimmy Thug, UJ Thug, by calling them the Usos. That ruined the surprise for me, but I was so excited, of course, because my family did pull up to the scene. They had a match between Roode and Gable. Roode and Gable had a match with the Usos, a pretty okay match, and the fam won, which needed to happen. The Usos, my family, is on Monday Night Raw. Thank God, because they definitely did what they can on SmackDown. They did everything possible that they could on SmackDown, and it was time for them to move to a different division, and tear it up. I'm excited to see my family Thug Usos, man. I thought they was going to pair them with Roman, but they had other plans. So next segment we have a moment of bliss with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is clearly over as hell because they were in Montreal, Canada, and he was over. They kept playing Sami Zayn's music over and over. Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon, they just kept playing his music, and Sami Zayn would keep getting up and doing his dance to the point where Sami Zayn was getting tired after a while. But yeah, they did that. Sami Zayn disses the crowd. This is Montreal and all that stuff, and he told them to see you in hell. So he's going to continue doing this heel thing, and you know, I like this with Sami Zayn. He's a funny heel in my opinion. He's gonna always be over. People's gonna always cheer him. He's gonna always get cheered because I feel like this gimmick is gonna get over. It just comes off as so natural for him. He can do that character very well. We have the Ikonics versus Bayley and Naomi. The family, my cousin, is coming over to Raw. Like the Usos, she needed a change of environment. I knew once I saw my family, the Usos pull up on Raw, that she was gonna follow behind. So she was Bayley's partner, and her and Bayley beat the Ikonics in simplistic fashion. So there goes your tag team champions, already looking like jokes. The people who hold these tag team titles are looking like jokes. This is why Sasha Banks is upset. This is why she's pissed off. This is why she walked out, because she knew once those championships was not around her and Bayley's waist, that it was going to be looked at as a joke. Now, I like the Ikonics. I like that. Well, actually, I like Peyton Royce. I think she's hot, and I feel like she has some wrestling ability. Billie Kay, I'm not too much of a fan of, but them together as a duo, like I can deal with. But just look at it like this: your tag team champions just lost in simplistic fashion. Yeah, Naomi had to look good in her debut match, but they lost. The tag team champions lost. You could have used anybody. You could have used Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan in that segment and had Naomi debut. Better than how they had the Riott Squad look later in the show, but they could at least had a match. And you could have saved the Ikonics from looking like idiots. But thank God Naomi's on Raw. EC3 versus Braun Strowman. The match never gets started. EC3 just gets destroyed by Braun and gets chokeslammed through the stage. EC freaking 3. This guy at one point was one of my favorites to watch when he was at Impact. I was a big EC3 fan. I love to watch EC3. Decent wrestler. His character was just what drew me to him. And we was excited once he came back to WWE when he was in NXT. Well, I feel like he was called up a little too early. I felt like he didn't get a proper run. He didn't even get a opportunity for like a big title or nothing. I mean, he fought for the North American Championship, but he didn't really get a one-on-one rivalry for a championship. They rushed him straight to the main roster. So you figured, okay, they're going to put him on the main roster. They have big things for EC3. They didn't have anything for EC3. And this dude is not some regular Joe Schmo. This dude is a serious talent. You finally get somebody like EC3 and you just have him chokeslam through the stage. That right there was EC3's career in a nutshell. Buried on the stage. EC3. Unbelievable, WWE. Unbelievable. Now, I heard that last week they was using him, they was pairing him with Rockstar Spud, a.k.a. Drake Maverick. I feel like these two can work well together in WWE because they have a history of working together in Impact, and they did work well. Rockstar Spud being his mouthpiece, being EC3's mouthpiece, can definitely use something special with that. Maybe that they'll start this pairing later. I mean, later down the line, but that would be a good step for EC3 if that happened. Pairing him with Rockstar Spud to give him a different look, but they need to do something with him and fast because to waste a guy like EC3 is a damn shame, man. Eric Young, he's announced he's moving to Monday Night Raw. Like I spoke about Sanity earlier in the show. Sanity is done. Alexander Wolfe is gone. So it looks like Killian Dane is going to stay on SmackDown. Or just go back to NXT, to be honest. But it looks like Killian Dane is still on SmackDown. And Eric Young is on Monday Night Raw. I hope they do something good with Eric Young. Eric Young could be a decent mid-card to upper mid-card talent. Very talented individual. Hopefully they use him well. Ruby Riott versus Becky 2 belts. Becky beats up Ruby Riott. She wins the match and she destroys the Riott Squad. But what came after the match was interesting. So we have Natty. She comes out. She congratulates Becky for everything she's done. She eventually tells Becky that she's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Right? They cut a promo on each other. They're going back and forth and everything. Next thing you know, Lacey Evans, the Southern lady, wants to come out there. She trashes both Becky and Natty. And she says she's officially on Monday Night Raw. And she's coming for the Raw Women's Championship. Right? So she challenges Natty to a match for a number one contendership. And Lacey Evans wins that match by using the women's right, which she has a sick punch. I do like her punch. Lacey Evans, I wasn't too much of a fan of her when I first started the show, but if she can show me more in the ring, I feel like I can get behind her. I can change my opinion. I can get behind her. But she wins by using the women's right, and also the Kevin Owens moonsault. I call it the Kevin Owens moonsault. When Kevin Owens jumps, switches his body in the air, and then does a moonsault off the top turnbuckle. She does the Kevin Owens moonsault on Natty, but she hits Natty pretty hard. She came down, and her knee smashes into Becky Lynch. Smashes into Natty's arm. I thought Natty was hurt, but looks like she's okay because we didn't hear any injury reports. So thank God that Natty did not get hurt on that. So it's looking like Lacey Evans and Natty, and honestly, Lacey Evans and Becky are going to be fighting each other for the Raw Women's Championship in the future, probably at the next pay-per-view, which is Money in the Bank. We get a creepy vignette with dolls in a rocking chair, with the creepy doll sitting inside that chair. This was creepy. If I was watching this by myself out in the dark, I would have legit, even though it's a WWE thing, I would have legit got creeped out because that was some scary stuff. I don't mess with them creepy dolls. Those fun houses, I don't mess with that stuff, man. It just looked creepy. We go to the main event because they've been advertising this the whole match. Who is going to team with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to take on Drew, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley? and it turned out to be AJ Styles. AJ Styles is officially on Monday Night Raw. So they have a match. AJ Styles, Seth, and Roman win. AJ wins with the phenomenal forearm, but there was a nice sequence at the end of this match that I like. So Bobby Lashley looked like he was about to beat AJ Styles, and out of nowhere, when it was on the 1, 2, 3, before they got to 2, or after they got to 2 during the count, Seth Rollins curb stomps this dude's face into the pavement, yo. This joint was amazing. Like, this was probably my favorite kickouts of all time. Like, breakups out of a pin, this is probably my favorite. He comes out of nowhere and just curb stomps the hell out of him. And then Roman Reigns hits him with the spear, phenomenal forearm. AJ Styles makes his presence known on Monday Night Raw by picking up a huge win over Bobby Lashley. And where does AJ Styles go from here now? A lot of people are thinking that we're going to get our dream match. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the Universal Championship as I'm about to say Super Slam. Wow. SummerSlam. That looks like that should be the Universal title match. Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. That needs to be the match. But who's going to be the face? Who's going to be the heel? I don't want to have another face versus face rivalry with AJ Styles because, as you can see with the Nakamura experiment, that didn't turn out well. I think that AJ Styles should turn heel. I think a heel AJ Styles versus a babyface Seth Rollins would be a dynamite match, a dynamite rivalry. That's something I can get behind. Just imagine AJ Styles, those promos back and forth, those segments, AJ Styles, a heel AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. That's what I need at SummerSlam. Hopefully that happens, and hopefully WWE books that right. So that's Monday Night Raw's Superstar Shakeup. Now, we move on to SmackDown Live. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens opens up the show with the Kevin Owens Show. His guest is the New Day. New Day minus Big E, because Big E has a torn meniscus, so he'll be out for a number of weeks. Hopefully Big E doesn't need surgery. If he doesn't need surgery, he'll be back in maybe like 5-6 weeks. So hopefully Big E doesn't be out for that long. So he congratulates Kofi Kingston. What was it? They announced that they have a 6-man tag match later. Kevin Owens wants to be a part of the New Day, right? So he wants to be a part of the New Day for the night to fill in for Big E, which was kind of some interesting segments, I guess, during the night. But I have my thoughts on that. I'll give you my thoughts on that in a second. So Kevin Owens wants to be a part of the New Day, and Xavier and Kofi was like, well, can you eat this amount of pancakes? Can you move your hips? Can you do this? Can you do that? So you have to do all this stuff in order to be a New Day member. So they was testing Kevin Owens throughout the night. And it was, like I said, it was a couple interesting segments. But Kevin Owens put on the New Day shirt and the unicorn horn. And yeah, that was about the end of that segment. But they also have Nakamura and Rusev and Cesaro watching on as this was going on. Yeah, so that was it. But my thing is like this. You had Kofi Kingston in this big storyline heading into WrestleMania. A lot of people was behind it. Kofi Mania was born. We was behind Kofi Kingston. Now, a lot of people, we still are behind Kofi Kingston, but we thought that we was going to at least get a decent storyline coming out of WrestleMania. Somebody making a big impact against Kofi Kingston for the championship to set up a rivalry match. But no, he's dancing around. He's just another New Day member now. He's just back to just being a New Day member. Now, of course, we didn't want the New Day to break up, but Kofi Kingston needed to be a little bit, I feel like Kofi Kingston needed to be more serious, or like taken more seriously, but he just went right back to being just another guy in the New Day. I have a big problem with that. Hopefully next week on SmackDown, we get something more concrete when it comes to Kofi Kingston and this whole his WWE title run, because if it's gonna be like this, I guarantee you that the fans is going to turn on Kofi Kingston as WWE champion. You know how fast the wrestling fans change their minds. Get Kofi Kingston in a good rivalry so we can continue this Kofi Mania thing, and his title reign can at least be something significant, right? Because I don't hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think Kofi Kingston is gonna get another WWE title reign after this. I don't want to say something bad like that, but in WWE's eyes, I think this is an experiment, and I don't think Kofi Kingston is gonna even touch that title. But it's good that he has it. It's good that he's going to have it. Let's say that he had it. But we have a match with your new IC champ. Well, wow. Your new IC champion Finn Balor, and he's fighting Ali, Mustafa Ali. This was a good match, fast-paced match. I definitely want to see these two fight again. Make this for the Intercontinental Championship. Sign me up for it. I can definitely see these two have a 2 out of 3 match, 2 out of 3 falls match. That would be some dope stuff, man. 2 out of 3 falls, Mustafa Ali, Finn Balor for the IC Championship. That would be some awesome stuff. But Finn Balor, he wins with a coup de grace with this match. And like I said, hopefully we see this more in the future. We have a segment with Kevin Owens and the New Day eating pancakes. So Kevin Owens must eat a whole bunch of pancakes and beat Big E's record in order for him to be in the New Day. So he eats all the pancakes, and that's about it. Charlotte versus Carmella. This didn't really, I guess this really didn't lead to nowhere as far as like Charlotte and Carmella or anything. I guess what happened after the match was the most important part, but they could have did this in a different way. But Charlotte and Carmella, they had a pretty back and forth match. There was a point in time where I thought Carmella was going to even beat Charlotte. Carmella, she looked very good in the opening of this match. She looked strong, but Charlotte did win with the figure 8. And yeah, like I said before, this didn't really do nothing for Charlotte, but it looks like Charlotte is staying on SmackDown. I feel like she should have moved over to Raw because Raw's women's division needs some more stars over there, especially with the lack of Sasha Banks. We need somebody to fill that void. I feel like SmackDown's women's division is good. Charlotte should have moved over to Raw. But after the match, Lars comes out and beats up R. Trizzle. And that's about it. And it's been official that Lars Sullivan is on SmackDown Live now. And that's about it. So yeah, we have Lars on the SmackDown. Becky Two Belts came out basically with the same promo that she did last week, saying that how she's gonna take out everybody. And yeah, that's about it. Ember Moon comes out, the War Goddess, like I said before. You took away the War Raiders name. They can't use War Machine. They can't use War, but Tom Phillips calls Ember Moon the War Goddess. Make up your story. Which is which? Are we going to use the word war or not? But she comes out. She says she wants to make a statement. Then Bayley comes out. Bayley gets noticeably booed out of the building, man. And you can see that Bayley is just not happy no more, man. You can see the frustration in her face. You can see this is not the same happy Bayley. And this doesn't look like a character. This doesn't look like the character. You can just tell that Bayley's just there to just get stuff over with. This is not good, man. This is not good, especially for somebody, a talent like Bayley, who loves this business and love going to work every day. You see the frustration on her face. But Bayley comes out. She gets in Becky's face and all that stuff. So she's here to make a statement too. She left all the hugs on Raw. Then the Ikonics come out. They make fun of Bayley, saying that we took your tag team titles, all that stuff. Paige comes out. Then Mandy Rose and Sonya comes out because Paige was supposed to be introducing her tag team. And Mandy and Sonya was like, well, I guess this is the Absolution reunion. Paige is like, nah. So she introduces her tag team, which is Asuka, which I thought was going to be Io Shirai. But it's turned out to be Asuka and my baby Kairi Sane. Now, I'm happy that Kairi Sane got called up, but what about Io Shirai? Io Shirai should be in this tag team with Kairi Sane. Maybe later down the line that they'll add Io Shirai to this tag team and they can be like a little, they could be a 3-person faction. But just think about where Asuka went, man. Asuka went from this dominant singles force to just being in a tag team now. Now, maybe this is good. Maybe this is a change in direction for Asuka because if she was by herself, she probably would be in obscurity like she has been. Right? So maybe this will be good for Asuka. I don't know. But it's just a shame to see where Asuka was up until what she is today. It is a shame, man. It is a shame. It is sad. So, of course, when we come back from commercial break, we have our Shemaz match. We have Bayley, Ember, Asuka, Kairi Sane versus Mandy, Sonya, and the Ikonics. My baby Kairi Sane gets the win for the team with the insane elbow drop. And like I said before, hopefully the pairing with Asuka and Io Shirai. The pairing with Asuka and Kairi Sane it works out well for both of them. Because I don't need talents, both of them, to be in obscurity. Especially my boo Kairi Sane. You need to give her a chance. And hopefully that they'll take these titles off of the Ikonics and put some legitimacy on these championships. We have a Hardy Boys promo and basically just refreshing everybody saying that they're the tag team champions, and that's about it. Buddy Murphy's officially on SmackDown, so just like Cedric Alexander on Monday Night Raw, they moved to somebody else from 205 Live, but this time it's on SmackDown, and this time it is Buddy Murphy. Kevin Owens does the Big E New Day opening. WWE Universe, don't you dare be Sal. But this is kind of entertaining, man. I was actually getting behind this, man. This is kind of entertaining. But we need Big E back. But as soon as the crazy thing is, I said that I miss Big E. I said that in my head. Corey Graves said it. He's like, man, I miss Big E. So they had their match with it was the New Day with KO versus Rusev, Nakamura, and Cesaro. The New Day win with KO hitting the New Day and KO win. KO hits the stunner on Rusev, and they worked together. The New Day and KO, they definitely did work together well. But I just need Kofi Kingston in this singles, man. I just need him in the singles rivalry, man. Next week, no more New Day stuff as far as like these 6-man matches. We've seen this already 1,000 times over and over again. Kofi Kingston needs to be in a different environment with that championship. Yeah, you can have Xavier have his back, but you need to separate from this whole New Day stuff at least for a while, at least until Big E comes back, and have Kofi Kingston feud with somebody. Now, the obvious choice right now is looking like Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens did not get his one-on-one opportunity for the WWE Championship at Fastlane. You remember? It turned into Mustafa Ali and Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. So Kevin Owens did not get his one-on-one championship match. I can see KO and Kofi Kingston fighting each other at Money in the Bank, but are they going to turn KO heel? I don't think so. I think Kevin Owens is just getting to the swing of things of this face run, and I don't think that they should turn him right away, because I want to see how far that Kevin Owens can go with this face run. He's entertaining to me. A lot of people is really on the fence with this whole Kevin Owens thing being a face, but I'm really on board with this whole thing. I want to see where this goes. Vince McMahon's announcement. Now, we waited all night for this whole thing. They've been building up. This is the biggest acquisition in SmackDown history. Now, I see where they went with this. I see where they was going. They used Elias because Vince McMahon called out Elias to get the heat on Elias. That way, when Roman Reigns came out and made his SmackDown debut, then he supposedly would have gotten cheered. So Elias comes out. He's on SmackDown, and I think this is good for Elias. I love to see Elias definitely on SmackDown. I'm definitely be a part of this. Roman Reigns comes out and Superman punches Vince and he beats up Elias, and Roman Reigns gets on the mic and says SmackDown is his yard now. So Roman Reigns has switched brands, and I feel like this is the right decision, but you can only think that Kofi Mania is really on borrowed time. You know Roman Reigns is going to be fighting for that championship. I give it until SummerSlam. That's when Roman Reigns is going to get that championship. He probably is going to be the one to take it off of Kofi Kingston. It's probably going to be a great match, but you know once they have that match that Roman Reigns is going to get the strap. Kofi Mania is going to be over once he gets into that rivalry with Roman Reigns. You know Vince is not going to help himself. The other good thing about this is the WWE title is going to finally be the last match of the show. I mean, because you know, whatever championship Roman Reigns is going for, is going to be in the main event. So Roman Reigns is officially on SmackDown. I feel like this is a good move. And wait, before I get off of this, if you notice, Roman Reigns' reaction is dying down, man. I said this on my Instagram. Roman Reigns' reaction is dying. When he came down, it was quiet. It was quiet. That reaction that he got when he came back is going away, and fast. So Vince needs to start booking Roman Reigns the right way. Do not shove him down our throats. We know that he's gonna get that championship soon, but just do it the right way. Do not do it the wrong way, because then that's when he's gonna start getting booed again. So that's your shakeup. We finally had our superstar shakeup. And what can I say about this? I miss the days when they had the draft, because it felt more exciting when you had the general managers from both brands get on the stage and they pick their pick and they steal from the other show, and then you see the other GM's reaction being upset that they took a big star from the show. Like, I miss those days. Like, there needs to be a draft the next time. For real. There needs to be a draft. The shakeup was so subpar. I feel like the way that they debuted so many superstars was so nothing special. Let's just hope that they really take these talents that did switch over to both shows, and let's just hope that things really get shaken up and these people get used in the right way. You know, AJ Styles being on Raw with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns being on SmackDown. I feel like this can be a step in the right direction if booked correctly. So there you go. Oh, you know what? Actually, some more people did get drafted to SmackDown before I leave the show. It was Heavy Machinery. I'm trying to figure off the top of my head. I don't have my list on me. Heavy Machinery, Apollo Crews, Mickie James, and Chad Gable. So the Roode and Gable tag team is finally done, which is great. Holla freaking Luya. Bobby Roode, I hope Bobby Roode is a heel on Monday Night Raw. I hope they keep him as a heel and they book him correctly. So, did this company really get shaken up? I don't know. We will get those answers later in the weeks. I would say maybe at the Money in the Bank. Did this company really get shaken up? Because at the Money in the Bank, that's when they did that first set of rivalries and everything after the shakeup and everything. That's when we will really determine if this shakeup really take full effect. And they don't have people showing up on the other show just randomly, just because. So, if you like this podcast, hit it with a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, continue to share the podcast, tell your friends, tell your family, your goldfish, your dogs about it, and just continually show a brother some love, man. I appreciate this. And until the next Not Your Average Wrestling Podcast, the Wildcat J. Joy is out.